everybody. Welcome back to another Go Mode podcast, restreaming one of the Challenge Cup races. Today we have Leslie Pro-04 versus AsmadiGames. It's their game one in their bracket match. I'm joined by Ben Crichton. How you doing, Ben?
Doing very well, and I'm joined by Ricky of Kokiri, so just switch the sound of our voices with the names we just said. He's him, I'm me, and these two are the racers.
Indeed. So what are we looking forward to today? What are we hoping for?
Well, it is a game one, so straight ahead, normal tournament settings, 7-7, open mode, all that good stuff. I'm gonna call, let's see Boots on Zora. I always like to see Boots on Zora. That's a weird place to put Boots. It's early, but it's not too early.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. Hopefully it's not Ped. That's my main hope. That's not Ped. And we're off. Both starting in Link's house, where they both get a 20 rupee.
Looks like a pretty standard, pretty conservative start. We've got an early map check. Looked like all crystals, but I might have missed one. Did you see that on Leslie's side?
On Leslie's side, I saw crystals on Eastern Pass and Desert Pass. I thought it was a pendant on Tower of Hera.
Oop, good eye, good eye.
Uncle has the single green rupee. How charitable.
Yeah, Uncle didn't even have your whole allowance today. He just had pocket change, but there's 50 bucks in the chest. It's okay. And it looks like we've got a little bit of divergence here. Leslie heading on into the sanctuary, while Asmadi making an early check of the Lake Hylia Island. Just 20 bucks there. And looks like opting to buy bombs. We are getting a lumberjack check over here on Leslie's side. We'll get an early indication whether we have that fabled Agaseed. Seems like so many Agaseeds since version 31 became a thing.
Let's find out. 300 rupees.
And I think I must have missed there was a sword in Sanctuary there, so that's handy to know.
Nice.
And another sword in Sage's closet, so that's Master Sword.
Oh. We're already at a level 2 sword.
Yep, we know what that means. All we need is a lamp, and then Aga will be in logic. Asmadi committing to the bit here, avoiding that early Kakariko play, heading towards South Shore instead as Leslie finishes out the Lost Woods and heading to where the greatest item density in the game pre-GT hides, Kakariko Village.
Interesting. Asmadi's skipping the damn chest at first. We'll see if he heads back in for it.
This is one of those muscle memory things where most of us grab the damn chest first, but it really doesn't matter. It's the same. You're spending the same amount of time whichever way you go. And we do have a buried half magic there. That'll make life nice and easy.
Yes. Leslie going to buy bombs.
Yep, nobody having any good luck with bomb drops today. It's rupees or nothing if you want bombs in this scene. And of course, the mini Moldorms were hiding them the whole time.
Of course. Of course.
But they'd rather give them than take them. That one on the left, doing the expert dodges. He finally goes down. And yet another sword. That is 3 swords in Sphere 1 and the lamp.
Aga 1 is in logic, but is it necessary?
Well, we've got a few things to check before it becomes too much of an issue. There's still escape to go. I don't think we've seen Blind's hideout yet over there on Leslie's side. We can hope to find some other progression.
Yes. But I mean, for Dark Road access, we still need all 3 items: the glove, the moon pearl, and the hammer, or Titan's Edge.
That's true. Of course, the glove would at least give us Death Mountain access. It would open up a couple more things. It would open up Zora. Still, things are not looking good for being able to skip that Aga play. Red boomerang there, and a bow. Eastern, full clearable in logic.
Sir? So, AsmadiGames now at level 3 sword. And we're 5 minutes, 40 seconds in.
And our Turban Merchant handing out containers today. Nice to have early on when you only had 3 to your name, but
yes,
the progression you want to see.
Asmadi starting up his calculated checks now, starting with Lost Woods, while Leslie finishes up his.
We're going to get a peek at the race game here, which I don't think we've seen quite yet. Just 20 bucks.
20 rupees. So while the runners are repeating each other's footsteps, this is a good time to ask you all to follow the runners on their streams. They're putting up a very nice show for us so far. Very divergent routing so far.
Yeah, especially for both of them starting off with that very conservative Link's House into Uncle play. Nice to see so much divergence so early. It's less interesting to see a mirror match early on.
Indeed.
But at this point, we're running out of spots that Moon Pearl could be.
Yes.
Eastern Palace is the obvious play.
Yeah, there's...
Agina.
Yeah, Agina and Eastern Palace are basically the only things in logic at this moment, I think. Oh, and Hollywood Castle, of course. Battle Escape.
And of course, as chat rightly points out, we do have Aga access. It could be on the pyramid ledge, but that's typically a last-ditch play. Leslie says, nuts to these boys. I'm using my magic. I've got half magic. I've got ether. Let's take these mini moldies down nice and easy. Leslie finishing up this South Shore play. Let's see if they decide to head towards Eastern after this. That would seem to be the play, but you never know.
Right. Canis and Maria on the library shelf.
So very likely to be a boots required seed. And this is going to be a slight time gain on Leslie's side. They'll be able to grab Sage's Closet and head straight into Eastern Palace in one go. Not a big thing, but this early on, every little advantage.
Asmadi choosing to just go through the race game instead of peeking.
Yep, this is one of those runner-specific things. Personally, I'm a peeker. Are you a peeker, or do you prefer just to blind check that race game?
I prefer to blind check it, because if it's something I need, then I have to double back. I feel like it's less of a waste of time. Even if it's just a few seconds. In the rare event, it actually is something useful. Alright, Asmadi and Leslie both headed to Eastern Palace.
At this point, it's pretty much this Agina or the big brain Aga play. This is definitely the safer play of what's available to our runners here. As they enter Eastern Palace, Leslie's just slightly ahead, but by barely half a screen.
And there's the Power Glove. First chest.
Right, that is 1/3 of our way toward Dark World access. It also does open up a few more checks. That puts Zora in logic. Of course, our runners could have gotten there with fake flippers should they have so desired.
True, though they don't have the
More
money.
importantly, it opens up Death.
Yeah, they get Death Mound. They don't have the money yet for Zora, but that's not going to be much of an issue. And then there's Back of Escape alone without having to do the front, if they so desire.
Very true. And yeah, that's true. We haven't seen any of Escape, and with both, I suppose, Back was likely to be accessible anyway, just depending on where that small key is hiding, but now we know for a fact all of Escape, including both Backside and Dark Cross, all easily accessible at this point. So that just opened things up quite a bit. Leslie making short work of that skeleton room, making good use of sword beams to get it done even more quickly than is usual. And that heart container is our second of 3 items available here.
And there's a 50-50 shot if that last item is on the big key vanilla chest or the boss. And it looks like Leslie's doing the safe strat of checking the big key chest while Asmadi just goes straight for the boss.
Now the question is, if you're Asmadi, if you lose that coin flip and you find the compass on the boss, do you go back in? Or do you take that glove and head towards some of those other checks and say, I took this gamble, I'm sticking with it?
We're gonna find out. I for one, wouldn't take the gamble in the first place. Leslie's playing my strat.
Yeah, it's not a gamble that you see too terribly often, but we'd...
Oh, well...
Yeah, with just 10 arrows in that big vanilla big key chest, you, I, and Leslie know that there's nothing of value in there.
Yes.
Asmadi's gonna find that compass and not know where they're at.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if he sticks with the gamble, because it will pay off for him if he sticks with it. Asmadi having a little bit of trouble with the almost knights here. Down they go. Draws first blood at 14 minutes in.
Speaking of trouble, looks like Leslie's in Oko mode here with only half a heart. Oh, and takes an unfortunate cannonball. And Asmadi decides, I'm not going to leave that item behind. I'm going back.
Oh, he's not going to be happy when he sees 10 arrows. Well, Leslie just bails on Eastern Palace altogether?
I suppose they can always hope to get easy access to go back and knock it out a little later on when they do pod.
No, that's true.
So it's not likely to be any more of a time loss piecing out than they already took taking an unfortunate death.
Yeah.
And there's $300 in the front side of Escape. That'll get Leslie almost to Zora access.
And the moment of sadness.
That's not what you want to see there. Of course, it's so easy in a race when you spend some time on a play like that to think, oh no, now I'm behind. But you've got to remember, you're racing against a human being that's probably making their own mistakes, and that probably just brought our two runners pretty close together with Leslie's death there. Speaking of death, Leslie looks like setting up a death warp.
And as Leslie finishes up further escape, Asmadi drops into the back. So far, every time there's been a moment to diverge, these two runners have diverged. And there's the hook shot.
That is a great find right now. Now you can head up towards Death Mountain and knock out East Side on the same trip. Both of our runners heading towards the Dark Cross chest from opposite directions. Let's see who gets there first.
Arrows. And Leslie doing another death warp, though I'm fairly certain that just locks him into the basement. Oh, doing a save quit.
And a little high five as both of our runners head into the sanctuary at the same time. But Asmadi heading up the mountain while Leslie heading to pick up those last 3 escape items. So pretty linear seeds so far. Asmadi with a slight advantage, but it doesn't take too much for that to change up. Still a lot of rando left to go here today. Just under 20 minutes into this seed.
Nothing but 20 rupees on top of Spectacle Rock, and inside we have the Moon Pearl.
All right, that's 2/3 of our way towards Dark World access. Or rather, we have Dark World access, we just have to go after it the hard way through Aga. Of course, our runner's hoping to find either a second glove or a hammer somewhere to make that unnecessary.
Yes.
That second glove, of course, would be a great find if it were hiding somewhere in Paradox Cave or potentially Spiral, because that would let our runners go straight into Dark World Death Mountain and clear out Hookshot Cave on the same trip.
Indeed. Oh, Leslie misses the jump.
Asmadi giving us our first look at Paradox Cave here. Called Paradox, of course, because if you think about the way the stories line up with the cave entrances, it doesn't quite make sense. Little Escher geometry there.
Leslie attempting a bomb jump. I can never pull this off, and he gets it.
I'm
Nice.
a coward. I never even attempt this one.
Well, I'm always gonna fall anyway, so I figure if I can get it, I will have to fall, and if I don't get it, well, I was dropping anyway. But it looks like Paradox has the flippers. Coming in clutch with Paradox Cave there.
Asmadi pulling off their own bomb jump to obviate the need for another climb up those stairs.
Checks the floating island. Looks like it was just 10 arrows.
And takes on the long walk through Spiral with no boots. Gotta do it. You're not leaving that item behind here, but it feels
Oh
bad.
no. Alright, well, that's Death Mountain cleared out, for the most part. Of logical access, anyway. Next up are flipper checks or Aga.
Yep, Agina's still in the mix, of course. Always that
Yes.
one easily orphan check off to the side saying, maybe I've got your progression. Other guy could have done this 10 minutes ago, you don't know. Agina likes to mock you that way.
Yes. 20 rupees on the island. The Book of Medora. We have Desert Palace access now. Unless it's boots locked.
That's true, but if it's not boots locked, we do have a fire source, we have the gloves, we have everything we need to clear it, so that makes that play over to the left through the desert and past Agina look a lot more enticing. But Asmadi says, I'm here, I'm swimming. Let's see what the Fairy Fountain and Zora has first. we've got an arsonist great fairy in there today.
Zora alleges the mirror. This scene is just giving all the light world progression, but no, not the dark world.
Well, that'll make routing the dark world a little easier once they do get there. That also puts a pendant Hera into logic, and combined with that book, the Hera tablet as well. So that's 3 checks if you want to climb up Death Mountain again.
And King Zora is the scam artist he always is.
10 arrows seems to be the big wah-wah prize today.
So, does Asmadi go to the desert, or does he go back up the mountain?
I mean, if it's me, I'm heading after that crystal, but I'm just talking. I'm not the one running.
And it does look like that's where he's going. Oh, and with that mirror, that puts Leslie's bailing out of Eastern Palace into a very good spot for him, because now he can do Pod and Eastern Palace back to back.
That's a very good point. That will make life a lot easier for him. Asmadi opting to skip Agina for the moment, presumably going to check him on the way out where it's a little more convenient. Let's see what Desert Palace
Leslie goes up,
is.
and Leslie's going up the mountain.
Always nice to see a little bit of divergence. I feel like this is the kind of play you make when you're feeling just a little bit behind. You feel like you want to gamble. Not a huge gamble. It's not a crazy play, but just not quite optimal.
About to find out if Desert Palace's boots locked, and it is boots locked.
Leslie giving us a Dark World map check.
Oh, which I totally... Hold on. It's pendant in Skull Woods and a red crystal on Eastern Palace.
Yep. And of course, Sasrala already told us that the green pendant is hiding in Ice Palace. Meanwhile, Asmadi finding only $50 here accessible in Desert Palace. Not what you wanted to see. This seems like the good play. Maybe I can go get myself a crystal, but not happening.
Asmadi, you don't have the big key. Where are you going?
Is there something he wants on the ledge?
Oh, he's stealing a key.
Oh.
I haven't seen that play before. I like it.
It's not one that you see a lot, but you know, you're here, might as well double down on it. This is technically a logical sequence break, but could be a profitable one. We'll find out.
He just skipped the... okay, he just realized what he did, okay.
Yep, he's ultimately gonna want to head out that door, see what Agina has, but in the meantime, let's see what's over here. If this winds up being... This could wind up being his hammer, his other glove. Could be any number of things that would make the sequence break well worth it, but it's not.
Oh, he was setting up a mirror warp right there. Okay.
Ah, see, that's why, like I say, that's why I'm here talking and they're the ones playing. Never,
Yes.
I make a point never to assume that I know better than the runner, because if I do, half the time I just look like an idiot.
And 10 bombs. Leslie continuing the climb up Pendant Terra. Gets the magic cape, which is, you know, basically screaming aggro 1. Oops.
Yep, attempts a bomb jump to get back, but nothing doing. And looks like Asmadi said, I'm fed up with this, I'm going to the Dark World. Moldorm goes down nice and easy to those tempered swings. Let's see what he's holding.
The basement key.
Oh, that's not what you want to see.
And Leslie gets his first kill, though it is only a pendant.
And Leslie says, nope, this seed's too constrained to be worth orphaning an item. Going downstairs. Starting up the coffee maker. Let's take a break.
Oops. Doesn't get his break.
Yep, he's working through his lunch break.
Oh wait, is he stuck on that?
Oh, it looks like it. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
Oh, good for him for catching that before finishing the tiles. Wow, the tiles are just not being nice today. Alright, let's see how many blue balls Aga shoots today. Oh,
Very rude
gotta be
tiles.
careful. Wow, those tiles gave him a hard time.
Yep, and he knows those Moldorms will make short work of him. But he also knows, I don't have to worry, I've got this cape. I ain't afraid of no worms.
And it's just 50 rupees for his troubles. One blue ball. Two.
And it looks like Leslie's decided to head Desert Palace way. They're gonna find their own disappointment there. And Asmadi, ever the gambler, decided to do this before making the play up to Hera, which we know is going to pay off for him. There's nothing up there in Hera that he wants. So that puts Asmadi in a pretty good lead here, just over half an hour into this seed.
Congratulations, Oro, for guessing 3 blue balls. You win momentary bragging rights. The fire rod is on Pyramid Ledge. And it looks like Swamp Palace was the second red crystal. I missed that the first time.
Interesting placement there of Fire Rod, because Skullwoods is a pendant. It's also one of the only accessible and full clearable dungeons right now. And it looks like Asmadi says, that's good enough for me, I'm gonna head in that direction anyway.
He's gonna check Graveyard Ledge on his way, past the mirror.
Yep, always nice to have Graveyard Ledge right on your way. It's such an easily orphaned spot. It's one of those that's often saved till last. It's nice to have it just convenient right here. I'm going this way anyway. Let's do this thing.
Leslie Pro bailing out of Desert Palace after seeing the It Was Boots locked.
And there's the Butter Sword. We're going to have some nice easy fights.
Wow, 36.5 minutes in, we're at level 4 sword.
Leslie, having opted not to steal the key in Desert, heading to his own Aga fight. With having played it a little more conservative, opted to more or less last location this. I don't think there's anything else that he could have done.
And the ice rod is up on Bumper Ledge.
Oh. And
wait, so
that cape
and the cape was in
hiding
Hera,
in Hera.
so that means Hera was required.
Oh, wow. Life just got a little more interesting in this race.
Oh.
We've got a de facto Ice Rod hunt happening here. Ice Rod being the subject of a fetch quest. Meanwhile, Asmadi says, this is a pendant dungeon, but RNGesus gave me this fire rod for a reason, and I'm gonna find out why. Let's go fight him off.
But first, check pedestal.
Moment of truth, chat. Do we have the legendary Oops All Dungeon Seed? Nope. Blue Cane. Asmadi tackling Skull Woods back to front, hoping to find both of the 2 potential item finds in the back here. He's found one, just a heart piece.
In the meantime, Leslie finishes up Castle Tower. He's about to face Aga 1.
Asmadi with Fire Rod, of course, Half Magic, and Butter Sword, which does the same amount of Tempered Sword, 4 swipes to kill him off. Could be set up for a fairly quick, easy Moth fight, but it's one of the more RNG-dependent fights in the game. It just depends. Is Moth going to hide in the spikes like a coward, or is he going to come out and fight?
Oh, careful, Asmadi.
Moth came out to fight. He put up a good one, but he does go down, holding only a map and a pendant for Asmadi's troubles. So at this point, it'll be interesting to see, as Leslie finishes out his Aga 1 fight, if he follows in Asmadi's footsteps, or if he makes that pod dip. It's a slightly more attractive play, because he's still got to go back and finish out Eastern anyway. Might pull him in that direction.
Chat making a observation that since the pedestal hint was this item makes you invincible, hopefully Asmadi didn't misunderstand that as invisible and think it's the cape, since he doesn't know the cape is in Hera.
Well, on the plus side, if he does make that mistake, it will pull him to Hera, which is a pendant, and that will get him the cape. Unless he goes to Ice Palace beforehand, but that doesn't seem super likely until and unless the hammer comes into play.
The hammer and the Titan's Mitt.
Yeah, that's true. Not even a possible play until the Titan's Mitt shows up. Oh, and Leslie taking an unfortunate death on the way to Catfish.
And there's the second item of Skull Woods. Both were just health. Which means that Fire Rod was a bit of a tease.
Leslie, undaunted, says, I know Catfish has something. I want to go talk to that fish. As Asmadi gives us our first look in the Village of Outcasts area.
And what does the Catfish give Leslie for his troubles? 20 rupees.
And I just noticed Asmadi found $100 in C-shaped house. He didn't have the money to get into pod earlier even if he wanted to.
Oh, this is true.
Leslie making the long, shameful walk back from Catfish. Might have been almost as quick just to take a death at this point and wind up back at the pyramid.
True, but he's crossing the river. Asmadi just finding all kinds of health. And not much else.
Well, better a heart container than a small key. That's what he doesn't want to see here, having headed into Thieves' Town without the hammer. That's always in the back of your mind.
Yes. Leslie doing his graveyard ledge. And we should see him do bumper ledge to get the ice rod. Oh, there's that small key.
Well, we still haven't seen the compass in the map, so the dream of not having to worry about that last niggling chest is still alive. And yep, Leslie is in fact heading north. No ice rod hunt for Leslie today. That's always a load off my mind when I'm roughly halfway through a seed.
Yeah, seeing that ice rod, he's got to feel very happy right now. Because that right there tells him that all his trouble going through Tower of Terror was actually worth it.
Leslie taking another unfortunate death.
Ouch.
He's getting out that hook shot. When Leslie heads a direction, he keeps going until he gets there. And chat's saying hammer. Did I miss a hammer in over on Asmadi's side?
So did I. They're saying Hammer was in the attic of Thieves Town.
Oh, okay. Well, that will give us some much more convenient Dark World access. Boy, those pig guards are being extraordinarily cruel to Leslie today.
And it's a bottle in the big chest of Thieves Town.
First bottle of the seed, meaning that Asmadi will be able to mirror out and check Bottle Boy once he's done with this dungeon. Asmadi taking some dangerous hits there, but oh, and an unlucky laser beam.
But he does have the fairy he just picked up.
Yep, came in immediately handy. Looks like that fire rod has also tricked Leslie into heading to backside of Swamp.
Indeed. And that is the second crystal for Asmadi. He now leads 2 crystals to 0, but that ice rod with the magic cape and Hera could give Leslie a chance to really catch up.
See what the dig game holds for us today. Oh, those 10 arrow stacks, always popping up where you don't want them. And the dig game did not quite refund itself. If Asmadi follows this route all the way around to Pod, they're going to find themselves just a little bit short of entrance money.
Yeah, but they still have hype cave on the way. There's a good chance they'll find some money. Oops.
Oh, very
Leslie
rude,
gets
Mr. Hand.
grabbed.
₹19 short of the entrance to Pod is a pretty odd number. It's just close enough that you figure I can probably find it on the way.
Well, it's not 19, it's 9. Oh, wait, no, I forgot. Kiki takes you twice. 10 rupees when you grab him and 100 at the door. Never mind. Yeah, it's 19.
Leslie finishing out that moth fight with only half a heart left.
And now he has 2 pendants, but he also knows that the pedestal is just the cane of Burna.
Asmadi finding nothing much on that desert ledge. And there is a nice, easy rupee farming spot right there, but Asmadi says, nope, I'm going to trust in the law of averages.
Is he dipping in a swamp palace? Oh, actually he does. He can folk clear swamp palace.
Oh, that entirely escaped me, but yeah, geez, that's the play right now. Lots of items to be found in Swamp, as well as one of our 5-6 crystals. So yeah, very likely that Asmadi will not have to worry about rupees by the time Pod becomes more of a factor. There's the boots. All right, well that makes desert clearable. That gives us that red cane in the library, which we'll need for Turtle Rock and Mire. At this point, what are we looking for? The flute?
We need the flute. Asmadi needs the cape so you get the ice rod.
Potentially a medallion. Actually, potentially both of the remaining unfound medallions. We haven't seen what's going to be required for either of our medallion dungeons. So at this point, if our runners just keep following the crystals, there's plenty of checks right along the way. The big question mark still hanging over our heads is, when and if Asmadi makes the Hera play to find his way to that ice rod.
Yeah. Oh, he's going straight to left side swamp. Kind of a risky move when you don't know if it's just map or compass.
Oh no. Did he just drown the key?
What?
Yep.
Whoops.
That's feels bad. So for those who don't know, this is not something that's possible to do in vanilla. Because of the way the key logic works out, you do not have access to that switch without first getting the small key. What Asmadi just did was flood a room that you need to enter unflooded to grab a small key that is required to progress through the dungeon. Impossible to do in vanilla, and so they made no...
Yeah.
In the vanilla game, no way to unflood this hallway once it's flooded. In the randomizer, because it is possible to do it if you enter here already with hookshot, the developers have made it so that if you exit and re-enter, the room will empty itself out so that you cannot keylock yourself. Asmadi committing to this left side swamp play, and this wouldn't necessarily be a bad play no matter what. Lots of runners will just not want to take the risk of orphaning checks, but especially in Asmadi's case, he knows he's gonna need that cape. He doesn't know where it is. Leaving behind checks probably seems like an extra bad idea.
I believe Leslie picked up his hammer in Thieves' Town Attic since he's done with that.
Yep, we'll find out for sure in a second. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, he has his hammer.
Yeah. Nothing much in left side swamp, but Asmadi gets to proceed without having to wonder what might have been. That jellyfish was very rude. Decided to make up for it a little with a heart drop. Leslie taking on his own blind fight. Wading in with no fear and taking him down.
Quite nicely. And that is Leslie's first crystal. Asmadi gets a second bottle.
I believe that was...
Oops, sorry. Asmadi now has the money for a pod.
Yes, and I believe he's cleared all the items out of Swamp at this point. I think all that's left is the big key and the compass. I could be wrong about that. Asmadi making short work of the puffballs, showing this jellyfish no respect. As Argus goes down.
If I'm not mistaken, that means the big key is locked inside the big key chest.
I do believe that is correct, so Asmadi will not have to head back into Swamp yet again. He'll be able to move right along. I think he's still got Hype Cave in front of him, and Pod full clearable right behind that.
Hype cave. Let's see if it's hype today. Piece of heart. Another bottle of a fairy. Oh, the fourth bottle.
And
Safety.
a fire shield. Couple of convenience items, no progression. I'm gonna say 3 of 10 hype. Looks like Leslie might be opting for Hype Cave before Swamp. We'll have a couple more bottles to play with. Heads in there. As everyone's favorite extortionist monkey opens up the door to Pod. And Leslie actually opting to go ahead and bypass Swamp for the moment and heads into his own pod.
Interesting. Though there wasn't much of anything in Swamp Palace besides the crystal.
Well, the boots, that's the
the
big
boots.
prize in
I
there,
forgot
yeah.
about those.
So Leslie already looking more than a full dungeon behind. That lack of boots is gonna hurt him from now on until he goes back and gets them.
Yeah.
Asmadi finding a mushroom there in one of our bow-locked pod spots. And if I'm counting my keys right, that means that vanilla big key chest has to be a small key for a small key, so that's safe to skip. And we'll see whether I'm right about that, because
Yeah, I've never been good at counting the keys.
The trick is remembering that there can never be more than 2 non-small key items in the front of Swamp. So if you found 2 items that are not small keys...
Yep. There you go, you got it.
Yeah. Yep, Asmadi, I don't believe has the big key yet, so not going for that hammer yump. Just blowing that door open for a little later.
Pod giving 2 fetch quests.
Yep, the mushroom and the powder. And there's that big key, hiding in the upper left of Dark Maze. And some blue mail. Some nice convenience here in Pod, but no progression quite yet. Well, that we know of. 2 fetch quests, and double your health.
Kinesmari is on the library shelf, so boots are required to get that.
Yep, boots doubly required this seed, since Desert Palace also boots luck.
To be honest, I'm a little surprised Asmadi didn't go straight to Desert after doing Swamp Palace. Which, I mean, granted, he could route it in with Meyer once he finds the flute, but it is kind of right there.
Yeah, especially since I believe Asmadi has not gone into Desert yet, so as far as he knows...
No, Asmadi went into Desert. He's the one who stole the key.
Oh, it was Asmadi. That's right, that's right.
Yeah, both runners went into Desert.
That's right, Asmadi skipped Hera, not Desert.
Yeah.
So yeah, could just be hoping to be able to route Desert in with Meyer, although with no flute and no mitts yet, it's not too terribly unlikely that part of our access to Meyer is in Desert.
Especially since both of the checks remaining in Desert are the item checks. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong about that, never mind. There's 1 check left.
I believe that's correct. We're not sure if it's... We're not sure if it'll be in... No, I suppose it has to be on the boss, because the big chest has to have the small key.
Yeah. Asmadi fighting Hamosar with Leslie right behind. And down.
Takes quite a few hits in the first phase, but the last phase goes down quick with just 2 butter sword slashes. For 20 bucks and another crystal. That would be Asmadi's 5th, I believe. Chat corrects me. It is his 4th. Our tracker was just a little bit ahead of the game, marking off pod. That's what tripped me up. And let's see what the Pyramid Fairy holds for us. Asmadi buying a big red bomb. And taking this handy-dandy shortcut that you only get to take on Agassiz. Meanwhile, Leslie knocking out his own hammer fight with only a heart left.
And Leslie going straight into Eastern Palace to finish that off. Ooh, blue potion from very nice. And there's Quake.
Always nice to see. Yep, reasonably likely that Quake will wind up being required, but no telling quite yet. Asmadi heading towards
the library.
I'm pretty sure.
Library, I presume.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm trying to think where our runners have to check after this.
Well, Leslie has to go back to Swamp Palace. Asmadi needs to finish Desert Palace.
Yep, there's Desert Palace, there's Bonk Rocks, there's King's Tomb.
There's the Blacksmith Chain. Well,
Blacksmith Chain's not going to come into effect until we find those Titans.
Right.
But there is Batter, of course. This is why Asmadi makes the big bucks. He remembers these
Right, he
things.
just got the powder, of course.
Yep. And I suppose he does also have that mushroom.
Yes.
But that's quite a ways away from anything else, so probably not something we'll see.
Big 20 again. Leslie enacts his vengeance on the Armos Knights.
And Asmadi heading north.
Bonk Rocks.
Opting not to go to the Dark World quite yet, heading towards the Bonk Rocks almost certainly.
Or
That is good.
Lumberjack Ridge?
Yeah, I don't believe Asmadi checked this at the beginning. I believe that was Leslie, so...
Okay.
And he's opting for a blind pull. It's right here. It doesn't hardly take any more time.
I'm a little surprised Asmadi didn't just do a save and quit so we could start up in Sanctuary.
I'm not sure with the screen transitions involved and whether that would even save him that much time. What does surprise me is that he didn't route King's Tomb in with this. That leaves that
Well, he doesn't have Titan
location
Submit, but he does have the
pretty.
mirror. He could have done that trip in the Dark World.
Yeah, he would have had to take the Kakariko portal, which wouldn't have been that far out
Especially
of the way.
given the
But
route
he
he
says,
did
nope.
take. If he had just done the Dark World version of it, he would have been able to do all of that.
Yep, and one of our Galaxy Brain chatters point out there was a water portal that would have taken him to Witch right there if he'd taken that route, but he says, nope, I'm heading to Hera, and of course you and I know this place.
Yes, it is. In the meantime, Leslie dips into Swamp Palace, gonna get those boots finally. Asmadi doing the final book check.
Bombs from the sky. So this seed's looking pretty constricted again. What we really need is those Titan's mitts.
We need the mitts and the flute.
Yeah. But I don't believe the flute gives us anything without the mitts at this point.
No, it doesn't.
So those mitts could be on the witch, could be on the desert boss. There's one other that I'm forgetting.
King's Tomb, because that is in logic with the mirror.
King's Tomb. Yeah, then once the mitts are found, that opens up Mire area. Well, no, it doesn't, not without the flute. But that opens up Dark Death Mountain. That opens up Turtle Rock. So it's likely that the flute is locked behind the mitt somewhere.
Yeah.
Asmadi facing off against everyone's favorite big trolly worm, but 2 lowly slashes of the butter sword take him down on the quick. Oh, and here's another one of those easy-to-forget spots.
Spike
Cave. And having just found that that cape, now's the time to do it.
Chat pointing out that the flute could be on the green pendant turn-in from Ice Palace.
Yep, although that would still have it locked behind the Titan's mitts, because we're going to need those to get into Ice Palace.
Indeed.
Of course, for that matter, the flute might just be hiding in Ice Palace. It could be on Cold Stare. That's the big question mark right now. Where's
Yeah, the
that
flute could
gonna
be
hiding?
anywhere but the Mire area.
It could be on Trinex for all we know. Could be on Laser Bridge.
Oof.
All right, Asmadi, where are you headed now? Looks like you might be headed towards the portal to... Oh, nope, I spoke too soon. Ah, he hasn't visited Sick Kid yet.
Leslie going back into Swamp House. Check the left side.
Yep, he's not going to find anything he wants in there, but Asmadi may find something in King's Tomb if he's heading the way I think he is.
We should be seeing Asmadi get the ice rod from Bumper Ledge and route in King's Tomb while he's right there. So then at that point, I mean, without the mitts, the only move left, I believe, is going to be Desert Palace.
That or the witch.
Oh, I forgot they had the mushroom.
Asmadi says, screw you, pterodactyls. I've got this half magic. I've got this cape. I'm not scared of you. All right, let's see what this long-deceased monarch left behind for us.
The Titans
It is the
mitt.
Titans mid. That brings us one step closer to go mode and opens up just a whole bunch of fun stuff. Where's Asmadi gonna take this mid? Where's he go first?
I got money on Turtle Rock. Can full clear Turtle Rock, if I'm not mistaken. As long as he has a medallion.
Yep, that's a 2 in 3 chance, which is pretty good odds, and regardless of that, he's got Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave on the way, so that's a whole lot of value. And it looks like Asmadi has the same idea you did. Meanwhile, Leslie hauling a big red bomb, gonna go find his Quake medallion, and we're about to see in a second if that might be required to get into Turtle Rock.
Chat's hoping for an Ice Palace play, it looks like.
I always
Bubbles
say,
and
I'm
cold
glad I only
stare.
have RNGesus to contend with and not chat.
It's Quake.
Medallion.
So Asmadi dashing into Turtle Rock. Didn't do the hookshot cave or Super Bunny checks. But Turtle Rock is quite infamous for having necessary progression items, so my money's on the flute being in here.
Yeah, and even on the off chance the flute is hiding in Super Bunny or Hookshot Cave, they're right there when you get out of Turtle Rock. And you don't save that much time being able to go mode Turtle Rock, so...
No.
I like Asmadi's play here. Let's beeline it to the crystal and worry about the other stuff later.
Because if I'm not mistaken, flute is all we need for go mode.
I do believe you're correct.
Oh,
and there's the silvers. When you've already got Butter Sword, that's definitely a nice to have, not a need to have, but boy is it nice to have. That Ganon fight's gonna go just lickety-split today.
Yeah.
Leslie heading to the library to pick up his own red cane. Let's see if he takes that. Well, that doesn't do him much good quite yet.
Yeah, he needs to get to King's Tomb to get the Titan's Mix.
Yeah. Which I don't believe he's done any of those northern boots checks quite yet, so...
No. He looks like he's going to Desert Palace?
Yeah. Yep, he's pulling out his book. It's gonna cost him a little bit of time here, since Asmadi will be able to route that in neatly with Meyer checks, but...
Unless the flute is on Lanmola's.
That's true, that's true.
There's a chance, there's a chance.
There is a chance. No, good call. Of course, even once we find that flute, still possible we might need Bombos in order to get into Meyer. Ooh, and Asmadi opting to skip Mimic Cave here.
Oof. Okay. When you're not in go, I mean, if you're in go mode, Mimic Cave you can skip, but not in go mode, you don't skip Mimic Cave.
Yeah. If that's an intentional gamble, it's a very risky one. That's not much of a time spend for potentially a huge time loss if that winds up being a flute or a required Bombos. Of course, chat points out Asmadi has been in the mood to gamble today. Let's see what Laser Bridge holds in store. Asmadi not in the mood to gamble with I-beams. He says, nuh-uh, not gonna bother with laser skips. I'm just gonna grab this stuff.
All the dungeon items. And a heart container. Wow, okay, so flute could be on Trinex. But that's about it for Turtle Rock.
Yep, of course, after that, we've got all of Hookshot Cave and the 2 checks in Super Bunny, so...
And Mimic Cave.
Yep! It'll be a while before we find out if that's the case.
Also, I believe we haven't seen Mushroom Check either.
We have not seen Mushroom Check, and Leslie is about to give us a look at Landmo. Asmadi with that lovely Buttersword Trinex fight. It feels so good when you get the opportunity to make short work of it. Speaking of short work, that's a 2-cycle Landmo fight for $300 and a crystal over on Leslie's side.
Trinex has a heart container, so... Okay, none of the crystal dungeons have the flute.
Well, not necessarily. We have not seen the inside of Ice Palace yet. And our runners do have, or rather Asmadi has access. Leslie is likely to get it soon. Or I'm sorry, you said the crystal dungeons.
Yeah.
Could still be in Pendant Ice, but yeah, none of the crystal dungeons. Correct, sorry.
Yes, Leslie did the library shop. Hookshot Cave is empty.
Let's see what Super Bunny has in store for us as Leslie heads into the Dark World. Here's hoping he makes his way to King's Tomb sooner rather than later here.
Yep, Super Bunny Cave is empty. I think we're down to Mushroom and Ice Palace.
I think you may be right.
Or Mimic Cave, yes, you're right.
Or Mimic. Yep. Let us not forget.
Oh, that would be...
And let us hope Leslie doesn't either, because I want to see what's in there now.
Asmadi going to Desert Palace, hoping Lanmolas has the flute, but it doesn't.
Well, he's gonna have to do this anyway, so... This is the pretty obvious play, but Leslie grabbing his Titan's mitts. The world just opened up for Leslie.
Oh, looks like Leslie is routing in the Mushroom Check.
Not a bad spot to do it.
It's Bombos.
Could be required.
Could be. But that basically puts the flute in Ice Palace.
Yep, but of course,
Or
Leslie
Mimic
has...
Cave.
Yep, Ice Palace or Mimic Cave. But Leslie still got all of Turtle Rock ahead of him.
Yes. Asmadi better hope that the flute is not a Mimic Cave. That would be terrible if it is.
Yep, 3 checks in Ice Palace, plus a fourth when that green pendant gets turned in. Asmadi pulling out the fire rod, ready to burn down some worms. That worm, trying to prolong his life, ducks into the sand. Not gonna help him. He goes down as Asmadi picks up another crystal.
So the play for Asmadi at this point is to go into Ice Palace, or do the mushroom check.
Well, saves and quits out to Link's house. That's,
That looks like an Ice Palace play. Nope, going the other.
Nope, taking the whirlpool here to head off to the witch's hut. Leslie making his way through the chain chomp room, dealing with their
twice, but makes it.
Yep. They've got some erratic movement, and they hit like trucks even when you've got blue mail.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you have the nice, as long as you have powder, which he does, you get that nice easy fill up in the next room. If you can make it through, you're okay after that.
Where is Asmadi going? Okay, he apparently forgot he has the Titan's Mitt. He's already done a ped check. He knows it's the invincibility item.
I've got to admit I'm a little stumped here too.
Oh, he's doing the blacksmith chain. Totally forgot about the blacksmith chain.
Yep. we were so preoccupied with that Ice Palace play. But there are 3 more checks here that are likely a little bit quicker. All right, Leslie's getting his mirror out. Moment of truth. Let's see that Mimic Cave.
And Mimic Cave has a heart container. Asmadi is so happy right now, he doesn't even know.
Of course he's happy. He's got a big riot shield. That's what everybody wants, right?
Alright, down to purple chest. This. Oh, okay. I was wondering if Leslie had the magic to activate the platform there, but he has half magic, so he's good.
All right, what does Gary's lunchbox hold for us today?
Not
A
the blue,
bloomerang.
not the blue item we're looking for.
No.
Yeah, flute is go mode.
Yep, we need it to get into Misery Mire. And it is looking like it's going to be hiding either in Ice Palace itself or in an Ice Palace green pendant Saha check.
Our restreamer suggesting that the flute is in its go mode is in its vanilla location at the digging spot, with shovel being an ice palace.
Also entirely possible.
Leslie going into his Trinix fight.
Yep, if anybody's wondering, both of our runners taking 2 slashes at a head and then getting into the menu. That's because that third slash starts this explosion sequence, making it impossible to get into the menu and switch items until it completes.
Ice Palace making them fight for that progression. Flute could have been in that chest, but no, it's the big key.
Leslie heading into Super Bunny Cave, probably soon to be followed by that Hookshot Cave, but we have the curse of knowledge. We know he's not going to find what he wants in either of those spots. It's Asmadi's screen that my eyes are glued to. He's the one who has the chance of finding the flute in here. Asmadi opting not to do the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Well, he needs to find the. He already has the big key, and he needs to open all the chests anyway till he finds that flute. So it doesn't really benefit all that much.
It really depends what bomb jumps you know, I think. Whether it's possible, even if you know you have to full clear, it'll still save you some time.
Looks like Leslie's going for Spike Cave. Compass. Ice Palace making Asmadi go deep.
Yep, he's heading through towards the iced tea room. Which is
Having
one
a lot of
those...
trouble with the fire bar and the anti-fairy.
Yeah, typically Typically, you see runners going and doing the hammerlock rooms first, just because that is more checks close together, and if you're just looking for one item, you're hoping to just find it there so you can peace out. Just $20 in the iced tea room.
Leslie checking the island. And now diving into Ice Pass, looks like.
Yep, sure does. So that's
actually a good play for him.
Yeah, oh, and there's the flute. All right, so Leslie's been playing catch-up all game, but being able to skip that Smith chain is going to save him some time here. If he routes Ice Palace differently, does the hammerlock stuff before the iced tea room, that could save him even a little bit more time. We could have a closer race than I would have predicted just a few minutes ago. Meanwhile, Asmadi, heading towards town, we're gonna summon the Space Duck and take a ride to Mire area. Hylian waterfowl is released and takes Asmadi into the Mire area. He's got all 3 medallions, no worries about whether he'll be able to get in. All he's wondering is, where is that Mire Big Key?
Oh, Leslie's going for the bomb jump.
Asmadi missing the crucial pterodactyl toss.
And Leslie giving up on the bomb jump because he doesn't have the hearts.
Very clean Mire 2 room over there on Asmadi's side. And yep, looks like Leslie's gonna head through Ice Palace the vanilla way. So he's not gonna save any time over Asmadi's routing there.
And there's the big key for Mire, practically God Mire.
Yep, that's about as godly as she gets. Asmadi showing off some game knowledge there. There's a bunny beam hiding under that particular skull. If you powder it, you get a nice little fill-up, making life a lot easier, making your way through these next couple of rooms. And on towards a nice, easy, relaxing Silver Arrow's Vitreous fight.
The worst room in Mire. There we go. So while Leslie's looking for his flute and Asmadi's making his way through the basement of Mire, now's a good time to remind everyone to follow the runners, Leslie Pro and AsmadiGames. Also follow Go Mode Podcast if you've been enjoying the races.
Yes, indeed. Go Mode Podcast coming out every 2 weeks with all your randomizer talk you could possibly want in your ear holes. And kindly using their Twitch channel to host some of our Challenge Cup races here today.
Asmadi pulling out the silvers. Time for a little Galaga.
Just one little lightning bolt to dodge. And then 2 silver arrows to the dome. And Vitreous goes down as Leslie pulls that flute and enters Go Mode at 1:51 and change.
And bombs the chest.
And that is the final crystal over on Asmadi's side, which means we like to play a little game here. There are 22 chests that could hide the GT Big Key. Do you have a bet that you like to make there, Ricky?
I will bet 11.
I like to be nice to our runners, so I always bet 2, because that first chest needs a small key. You do need one of those, too.
So this seed was an AGA 1 seed required and 2 pendant dungeons required for progression.
Yes, indeed, with that cape hiding in Tower of Hera, leading to Ice Rod on Bumper Cave, and then our Go Mode Flute there in Ice Palace. Not quite an Oops All Dungeons, but close.
Well, it ended up being an Oops All Dungeons because they both did Skull Woods.
Yep, that's true. That fire rod on Pyramid Ledge turns out not strictly required for anything unless we wind up having a right side GT Big Key.
Well, required for Trinex.
Oh, that's true. My mistake. Required for Trinex. True enough. But that pulled both of our runners into thinking there might be something good hiding behind that moth, and there was a whole bunch of nothing. All right, Leslie entering his mire, one short god mire behind Asmadi. Definitely Asmadi's game to lose at this point, but I've seen bigger swings happen.
First 2 chests for 2 small keys.
Well, I was half right. I was right about that first chest being a small key. Asmadi opting to go full right side. Pretty standard play here if you do find a small key in that hope room. Just get everything you can out of the way before having to worry about messing with ice armor.
3 and 4, 5, 6. A lot of money.
Very rupee heavy right side here today. And did I say something about putting off Ice Armos? Bite my tongue. Asmadi says, I'll just go straight that way. I ain't scared. Asmadi has been one for the big gambles today.
Yes.
But what he what he might not know is that he's got a pretty good lead. He doesn't need to make any crazy gambles. He doesn't care. He's in it for the rando. Bob is dead. Long live Bob.
That's number
The seventh
7.
chest. And we're seeing an early Ice Armos fight. Of course, with silvers, it's going to go pretty quick here.
Leslie Pro entering his vitreous fight. It's 8, 9, 10.
Well, that got Asmadi the red mail, but not the big key, which is what he really wanted.
Right.
That red mail's not going to make the biggest difference when you've already got what, 15 hearts,
Oh,
and it was on torch the whole time.
number 11. What did I say?
Look at that. Folks, I'm looking at the official SRL chat. At no point do either of the runners reveal the location of that big key. No shenanigans have happened here today. I'm your witness, Ricky.
Thank you.
You came by that guess honest. Leslie heading into his own GT here.
Oh, this is an
Be able to pick
opportunity. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is an opportunity for Leslie to make up some time if he goes straight into the torch room.
Yep. Or even if he does yeah, if he goes straight to the torch room, that's potentially quite a bit of time. Wouldn't be that out of the ordinary if he decided to go Dark Magician route, which is not an uncommon tactic. He could do Hope Chest, or Hope Room rather, and then go left. Even if he just does the more standard play and goes right side and then mirrors out and skips Ice Armos.
Yeah. Asmadi having some difficulty with the lasers in this room. Wow.
Very rude lasers. Oh, one parting shot, insult to injury. But he shakes it off and takes down this next room like a pro. He does decide to take the fill up from the bunny beam here, which does change the pattern on the Landmo so that it becomes much harder to get that nice easy one cycle, but you gotta do what you gotta do when you're low on hearts.
Leslie doing full right side, it appears.
Still going to be something of a time save, but he's still relying on Asmadi to make some mistakes if he has any hope of catching up this late in the game. I should say, it's going to be a time save if he does what most folks would do at this point and pieces out after this next room rather than proceeding on to Ice Armos. sure enough, he's pulling out
Yeah,
his
there he
gear.
goes. So Leslie Pro about to get his torch, big key.
And those lasers just continue to be unkind to Asmadi today.
Yeah.
Chipping away at him, heart by heart.
Leslie entering the gauntlet as Asmadi basically finishes it up. Just has Moldorm left to do.
Leslie, not messing around with those mimics, says, I'll take your fireballs. I don't care. Just take the silver arrow to the face. I need to get moving.
Down goes Moldorm 2. Both runners have got to be feeling the pressure right now. 2 hours in, and there hasn't been a dot done yet. And they're both in Ganon's tower. He's like, oof.
Yep, both of them have had some relatively rough times here today. You've got to be eyeing that SRL chat like, am I good? Where am I at? Am I ahead? Am I behind? I don't know. Let's see how the Geometry Wizard treats Asmadi. Narrowly missing a 2-hit. Finally gets a double. He's had some rough setups here. As the Geometry Wizard goes down and Leslie takes out his Lanmo 2 fight, we're about to see a pig fight over on the right-hand side here. Leslie getting that nice clean one-cycle Wizrobe 2 room.
And it's time to make some bacon. Asmadi taking on Ganon.
Yep, hard to imagine this being too much trouble for him. But he's not taking any chances. I got this cape. I got this half magic. I'm gonna lay waste to this pig.
Phase 2 complete. Now on to Phase 3. If Ganon wanted to cooperate.
He knows his days are numbered. He just wants to get those last few teleports in there, just for old time's sake. Asmadi pulling off. Ooh, very nice, very clean. Double silver arrow strike, followed by a torch glitch on the first press of the Y button there. Beautiful. This pig is not long for this world.
Oh,
Manages to put off his fate by one cycle, one dodge, but all for naught.
there it is.
Asmadi has one final challenge. Can he cross this bridge without falling down? He can! He does it! Get your GGs into chat. Asmadi finishing in first place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 2 seconds.
GG.
As Leslie faces off against the Geometry Wizard, coming in just about a Ganon fight and change behind.
Wizard goes down, and Ganon's about to get killed again.
This is, of course, the game 1 of this series best of 3 between these two runners. So Leslie will have the chance to even up the score. He'll also have the chance to pick the settings of the next match as he heads into his Ganon fight.
Leslie entering phase 3 of the Ganon fight.
Yep, looking a little low on hearts, but fortunately he does have fairies in his back pocket just in case things go bad from here. Leslie getting that nice double silver arrow hit, slightly missing the torch glitch, but with half magic, not much of a concern, especially with another sexy double silver arrow hit for a very clean Ganon fight. Very clean final phase. Leslie crosses the bridge and comes in second place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 45 seconds. Only 2 minutes and 43 seconds behind Asmadi. Very close race here today. GG's to both of our runners.
Asmadi is unable to join us for an audio interview, but he is in the chat commenting that he remembered Mimic Cave after he did the Trinex fight and thought the cape was on the pedestal for a bit. Fortunately, finding it in Hera first. And if I'm not mistaken, Leslie is joining us in chat. Hello, Leslie.
Yeah, I already knew what that was because I had already gone up the hair. I'd gotten the cape, and that cape was definitely needed this time around.
Yes, indeed. How'd you feel about that seed?
I don't even know where to start. The fact that I rolled another seed that stunk worse than low tide. Well, I mean, that's Sahabot being Sahabot, I guess. I don't know. Or the fact that my own execution let me down and wound up costing me this one, because you take out all the deaths and you're looking at a slightly different story here. The one in Eastern was set up by my controller issues. I honestly don't know what set up the other one two, other than the game just being a jerk, for lack of a better term. But yeah, that was a very tilting and frustrating experience that has just left me shaking my head.
I can imagine, especially the deaths in the Dark World. That hurt.
Yeah, and no kidding about the uncle being cheap.
Well, on the plus side, your routing was quite good throughout the whole seed, and hey, you get to choose the options next time.
Well, next time, as I'm looking over the credits on the restream, yeah, it would have been nice if that swirly coin was actually needed for something, because I was secretly hoping for that. Nope.
Oh, the Bumbles? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
sorry, looking at the next race, what are you thinking about changing for the settings?
I'm honestly thinking that this seed was just so disgusting. While not too many settings would have actually fixed all the problems that were had this seed, because let's face it, this seed is one you just throw into a countywide tire fire to burn, along with at least half the seeds that Sahabot has rolled, admittedly. But that being said, I do believe that a change is warranted because this seed sent y'all. Well, like I said, this seed was just absolutely disgusting. I should have done AGA as soon as it came up, because my instincts were right on that. But whatever. As for settings, I'm going standard because sometimes open is not friendly, especially in version 31. It seems like in version 31, open is about as obnoxious as Consternation in Zelda 1 Rando. And for those who are familiar, Consternation Z1R, it can be outright evil. So I'm slaying the evil, going to standard.
All right, sounds good. Any final thoughts about this seed?
Burn it. Seriously, this one was probably one that, honestly, I would just rather forget, literally, because this is just one of the... This was a bad one for me, absolutely, without a doubt.
All right, that's it for me. Ben, any follow-up questions?
Well, big thanks to both of our runners for putting on a show for us here today. Thanks to the fine folks at Go Mode Podcast, to our lovely trackers and restreamers, the behind-the-scenes folks that make all this stuff happen. If you're interested in more Challenge Cup action, I believe we have another match tonight at, I want to say 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Restreamer
over on
popping in to say you are
Zelda
correct.
Speedruns 2. Thank you kindly.
Yep. Gonna be over on Zelda Speedruns 2, and some dude named Westside Vandal is
There
gonna
were
be
so many things that
commentating
went
with
wrong
Jinxie
there.
Girl
And with that run,
on
I
He's
don't
Just
even
a
know
Boy
where to
versus
begin.
oh good lord, I just
First
blanked
and
on the other
foremost, I
opponent.
should have followed my instincts and jumped right into Dark World because that was required.
West side, the stream's playing on your side.
However, going to Hera did
What?
prove to be helpful in the end because
audio.
that cape was required for that
It's
ice
all good.
run. Dying in the Eastern Her, that easily cost me 2 minutes. And would have made this finish super close. I also died on my way to Cat.
Just
goes to show nobody is as
perfect.
well as trying to get over
That's
to
all
West
good.
Dark World.
All right. Well,
That
With how
cost
many moving
significant
parts
time.
it takes to put this show on,
Any
I'm
of
never
those things
surprised when
don't
something
happen,
goes
there's a
wrong.
chance I
I'm
somehow
surprised
squeeze
if
out
everything
a
goes
win
right.
in one of the ugliest seeds
it
I've
actually
played
went really
in a
well.
while.
Great job.
Now,
All right, well, that's it
not
for
gonna
me.
lie, I am
gotta
pretty
go get ready for
frustrated
work.
right now.
Thank you for the race, everybody. See you later.
See you
Take
next
it easy,
time.
folks.
Oh, we're looking to tomorrow for race 2, so you guys will have that to look forward to.
Awesome. We'll tune in for that and tune in on Zelda Speedruns 2 this evening for He's Just a Boy versus PRD Wong with Westside Vandal on comms.
This
joined
was
by
just
Jinxie Girl.
an imperfect storm
And have a
against
lovely
me,
night.
so now I have to somehow rally and win game 2. So what I'm going to do for now is, yeah, I gotta find a way to rally for game 2. When that is, to be determined, stay tuned. For now, enjoy the post-race on Go Mode Podcast, which is going to be me saying a few choice words, because I am not happy with this dumpster fire of a seed at all. And if you think I'm rolling game 2, I got 2 words for you. Fuck that. Enjoy the interview, and I might be back for something later. I don't know. I gotta cool off after this, because this sucked.